Hey ladies, I had a request for a super simple eye look and I'm going to give you one today, and I'm going to be using eyeshadow palette 1. It's this beautiful palette of very neutral shades, browns, some peaches, some champagnes. I love these pre-packaged palettes, especially for beginners, because they put every shade in here that go together. So you don't have to worry about, is this shimmer shade going to go with this matte? Because they all go together. And you can just combine them in so many different ways to get so many different looks. But really the non-questioning of what could I possibly put together, what goes together, what should I use, it's all packaged in this palette. So the guesswork is out of it. I'm going to go ahead and start today by using my eye primer. I use this every single day. This little bottle lasts forever. Not quite forever, but a long time, because it just takes a very small amount for your eyelids. I bring it all the way up to my brow on both eyes. I'm going to get just a little bit more. I mean, it just takes a little. Our eye primer has been reformulated so that you can also use it on your eyebrows. If you tend to use powder products like our brow palette for your eyebrows, it works there. The eye primer is such a fantastic product. I use it for every single eye product that I use, whether I'm using a powder palette or our individual pressed shadows or our cream shadows. I always start with my eye primer. It really makes your colors that you're using eyeshadow wise pop. But what I like about it is it just makes them so long lasting. Like I'm going all day, my eyeshadow stays in place. It's not smudging, it's not creasing. It's really, once I put it on, it's on there, and it's all thanks to this eye primer. So once that sets just a minute, I'm going to be taking one of our brushes. This is the liner shader brush. It has just a flat, one end of it is just flat like this, and the other one is really skinny. It's great for using eyeshadows as eyeliner. But what I'm going to use is this flat end first. The tip that I have about eyeshadow, especially if you're wanting to use multiple colors, is I always start with a shimmer shade on my lid. Try to use a shimmer and then a couple mattes. I'm going to use, I think, I'm going to use Brassy, I think, today. But with this pre-packaged palettes, I have really 2 bright shimmers and 1 kind of muted shimmer. So I could start with any one of these 3 shades for a different look. There's Sincere, which is kind of a muted shimmer, Brassy, and then Swanky. So any 3 of these would work, and I can switch them up to get different looks, you know, depending on what I want to do. But I'm going to go with Brassy today. So I'm just patting this on my lid. I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way over. So I'm not going to go all the way over here. I'm just going to go the majority of my lid. I'm going to go ahead and do this eye too. Again, just patting on this shade, this nice shimmer shade, 3/4 of my lid. All right. There's that. So that's my first step. The second step is I'm going to use a matte shade that complements this shimmer on my crease and blending it up a little bit. For this, I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to use my favorite brush, the crease brush. I use this every single day for so many things. I use it for my crease. I use it for my outer V if I'm using a different color. It just really gets into the spot I need it to, and it makes it really easy to blend out. So I'm going to use a medium transition shade, but I'm gonna have it be matte because I've already used a highlight. So I could use something like Chipper, because it's a medium color. If I wanted something, if I was going for a lighter look, I could also do several shades of Elated. I could also use Sincere. Now it is a shimmer, but it's a more muted shimmer, so it would still complement the Brassy. But I'm gonna use Chipper today. And it's this medium matte shade here. And I'm just going to apply it right in my crease. And like I told you, this crease brush just gets, I mean, it fits right into where it needs to go. I'm just going to use like this little, like a windshield wiper motion, just to get it all in here in my crease. And kind of up above my eye socket here. Just blending it. I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna add some more Chipper and do this eye. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's getting blended out. And again, when I'm going to use or look for a complementary shade, it's all right here in this palette. We have 5 of these palettes, all different color schemes. Like I said, this is probably our most neutral one by far with all the browns. Palette number 2 is beautiful for a smoky eye. It has grays, blacks, silvers. Palette 3 is purples and pinks, all different varieties of purples. And a couple blacks and some highlights, shimmery shades. 4 is blues, teal, brown, and palette 5 is all shimmers. It's almost like a rainbow palette that looks super intimidating, but it's really pretty once you mess with it a little bit. It has pinks, golds, some bright purples in it. So we really have these pre-packaged palettes that will suit any look you're going for. All right, so now I have my highlighting shade and I have my crease medium matte shade in here. I'm going to take my blending brush, specifically for blending, and just kind of blend it out here a little bit. I love this brush, especially when I'm using my cream shadows, and I don't want to spend a lot of time blending colors, multiple colors with my cream shadows. I like to just apply my cream shadows and then just blend it all out with this brush so it looks like it's little different shades, but it's all just really one color. All right, next I need to pick a darker matte shade to go on my outer V to add a little bit more definition. Again, I have Forthright I can choose. It's a really dark matte. I have Zealous, which is also a dark shade. It has just a little bit of shimmerish to it, but it can still go for this outer V color because it's dark enough and the shimmer is very, very light that it could also easily serve as a matte. I'm gonna go with Forthright today. And I'm just going to dab a little here. And this is what I'm going to place in the outer corner of my eye. I'm just kind of making a V pattern. I always start with just a little bit and then I can add more. It's way easier to build it, the eyeshadow, than to try to take some away because you got too much. So I really take my time and try to just build until I get the desired color that I want. You can see I'm just going back and forth here between this outer V, kind of making just a V shape, and I'm just going over and over, blending it into that area. I can always go back. I'm going to stop there for a minute and go over to the side. Again, right here on this outer V and up into my crease. I think it helps to make little circular motions to really get that product in there and really get it blended. I'm doing all of this with my crease brush. If I had to pick one brush, if I didn't own all the brushes and I had to pick only one brush that I could have, or one brush that I would recommend as a must-have, it would be this crease brush. It totally changed my eyeshadow game when I got it. And I was definitely one of those that were skeptical about why you needed certain brushes for certain jobs, or why a cheaper brush from Walmart couldn't do the same thing. And I agree that you could probably get away with using some of the cheaper brushes from Walmart or Target that are shaped something like this, where you're just putting the product on your eyelid. I mean, really, that doesn't take any skill or any certain type of brush, I don't think. Which is why I would choose this brush, because I could even use this one to put on, you know, the main color on my lid. But brushes that are shaped like this do not work as well for everything else. For my crease, for my outer V, which is why I would choose this crease brush every single time. Although the blending brush does a better job at blending, since that's its sole purpose, I can still do pretty good with this crease brush if I had to. It's what I was using before it came out, before Younique came out with its own blending brush. So if you don't own this crease brush, I suggest you put it on your wish list. It's really fantastic. All right, so all I have done, you see, is just kept on applying this darker matte shade to this V, to this little area on my outer eyelid, until I came up with the desired color that I wanted. See how it all goes together here? They all complement each other. It goes light, medium for a transition shade, and then dark. It's 3 colors from my palette. I also like to add a very light shade so that there isn't this big gap of no product between my eyeshadow, where my eyeshadow ends, and my brow. So I'm just gonna pick the lightest shade here. One of the lightest shades is Sincere. You see it here? And I'm just going to add it in the space between where my eyeshadow ends and my brow line. It's probably not necessary, but it's really just an, you know, not particularly necessary, but it's just an easy way to fill in that gap so it doesn't look like you accidentally stopped. And then I just blend it all in. Again, I'm still using this crease brush. Just blend it all in so that my eyeshadow doesn't stop abruptly. Plus adding a little bit of eyeshadow, some nice light eyeshadow, a little bit shimmer under your brow, just makes your makeup look better too. Opens up your eyes, gives your face a little more definition. Here we go. All right, this is my super simple eyeshadow look. Now you could also, if you want it blended out a little bit more, you can take your blending brush. It's not gonna hurt it just to, you know, blend out your eyeshadow. If you don't want it so pronounced, or if you want it a little bit lighter, that's what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add some eyeliner. I'm gonna use the liquid eyeliner in Proper. This is a chocolate brown. I like our liquid eyeliner because it really goes on smooth. It's almost like applying it with a Sharpie. It's a little bit harder doing it into the phone. Just put it right on my lash line here. Just a little bit more dramatic look, adding a little bit of eyeliner. Do it on the other eye too. I don't add liquid eyeliner on the bottom, or I don't add eyeliner on the bottom when I use a liquid. You certainly can. I'm honestly just not skilled enough to make it work. So you'll see me sometimes in my looks of the day where I have eyeliner on top and eyeliner on bottom, or sometimes two different shades of eyeliner. I'm only gonna go with the top today. Again, they're super easy to use. I used to be so scared of liquid eyeliner because you had to have a steady hand, which I don't have. It was usually pretty fine, so it was harder. It felt like I was making several attempts to get it on with my shaky hand. So I just shied away from liquid eyeliner for the longest time until this liquid eyeliner from Younique came out. And like I said, it's literally just like you're drawing on some eyeliner. So easy to use. Right now, I'm applying our Epic One Step Mascara. For all of you that have tried our 3D mascara and just wasn't a fan, you should give this Epic a try. It naturally curls your lashes as you put it on, so I no longer have to use those eyelash curlers, which scare me every time I use it. It never fails that I'm pinching my lid, so I don't even use it anymore. It also, this mascara seems to grab every single small lash that I have, so it gives me really good volume. It's really easy to apply. So I'm just trying to get everything here. Again, it's a little harder in this phone than it is an actual mirror. Just gonna apply that. I'm gonna apply it to my bottom lashes without attempting not to get it all over. It never fails when I put on mascara that I'm not then trying to take a Q-tip and touch up my eyeshadow. I just 40 years old and I still have not figured out how to cleanly apply most of my makeup. That's all right though. Still learning. All right, so I'm just applying this Epic. Again, eyeshadow doesn't have to be hard. I used 4 shades here, 3 brushes, but I could have easily done it all with my crease brush and my one palette. You know, I think that if you stick with, you know, one generic rule in applying eyeshadow, especially if you're wanting to use multiple colors to give your eye look a little more definition. And this is the rule I use every single time I'm trying to pair stuff together for some sort of eyeshadow look. So I always start, like I did today, I always start with a shimmery highlight for my lid, a medium matte of some shade that you want to be darker than your highlight, you know, darker than the shimmer shade, but lighter than the shade you're going to eventually put on your outer V. So that's gonna serve in your crease as your transition shade. Normally a matte is what I try to go with. And then you're gonna pick your darkest shade that complements the other two, but is darker than the other two on just the outer V of your eyelid. And then blend, blend, blend. That's also going to be a key so that it doesn't stand out that you've applied 3 shades in 3 specific areas. All right, that's it. That is my super simple eye look using more than 1 shade, but only using 1 palette. Let me see here. And this is it. That's all. If you have questions, let me know. Thanks.